Hey everyone, I'm Liz and today I'm going to teach you all the basic stitches you need to know to make virtually any amigurumi tutorial or pattern. In this tutorial I'll be using red heart yarn and a size E hook. There are several ways that you can begin your amigurumi. First I'm going to show you the slipknot and chain method. So first we need to create a slipknot. There are many ways to do that, but I'm going to show you my way. First, I'm going to loop my yarn around my fingers. So I have one loop here. And then through the middle of that loop, I'm going to pull up another loop using my tail. So I'm just going to make a loop here and pull it up through the first loop. Then I'm going to hold on to that second loop and onto my tail. And then I'm just going to pull on this side to create my knot. And now I have a slip knot. So next I'm going to insert my hook into the loop of my slip knot. I'm going to pull the tail a little bit so that the loop fits better on my hook. And then I'm going to make a couple of chains. So to make a chain, I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook, just like that. And then I'm going to pull a loop through the loop that's on my hook, the loop of my slip knot. Just like that. And now as you can see, there's a second loop coming out of the loop of my slip knot. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to do that 2 more times. I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook and pull it through that loop that's on my hook. Now I'm going to make one more. So grab the yarn with your hook, pull it through, and now I have my slip knot and 3 chains. So now that we have our chain, I'm going to do a slip stitch into the first slip knot that we made. A slip stitch is pretty much the same thing as a chain, except that with a slip stitch I'm going to first insert my hook into the work. So I'll show you what I mean. First I'm going to insert my hook into the loop of my slip knot right here at the beginning of my work. And then just like I did with my chain, I'm going to pull a loop through. I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook, pull a loop through that slip knot, and then I'm going to pull that loop through the loop on my hook. And now I have a small circle. So now I can chain one more, and I can start to do my single crochets into this circle. And as you can see, now that we have put our single crochets onto our circle, there's going to be a small hole visible in the middle, right here. So I'm going to show you another method that's going to prevent there being a small hole in the middle. But if you prefer this method, then you can always just sew the hole closed using a yarn needle when you're finished. But if you would like to avoid having a small hole in the middle, then you can use the magic ring or magic circle method. I'm going to show you how to make a single magic circle first. So I'm going to start by looping my yarn around my fingers once. Now I have this loop here. I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to put it through into the loop. Then I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook and pull up a loop, and then chain one. And then I'm just going to single crochet straight onto that loop. To create my magic circle. And that first chain is going to count as my first stitch, so I'm going to do 5 more so that I have a total of 6. One more method that I'm going to show you is the double magic circle or magic ring method. This method is a little more secure than the single magic ring. So to begin, I'm going to loop my yarn around my fingers twice. Okay, I'm going to take that set of loops. Now you can see there's 2 loops here. And I'm going to take my hook I'm going to insert it through the middle of those 2 loops, just like I did for the single ring method. And I'm going to grab my yarn with my hook and pull it up through those 2 loops. Now I'm going to chain 1, just like I did for my other ring. And now I'm going to single crochet 6 times, or 5 more times. This is going to count as my first stitch. So I'm going to single crochet 5 more times onto my circle. So I'm just going to single crochet onto both loops. Okay, now that I've finished my 6 stitches for my first row, I'm going to close the magic ring. It's a little bit more complicated to close this type of ring. So as you can see, I have these 2 loops here. These are the 2 loops that I put around my fingers, and I have my tail here. So I'm going to pull on my tail a little bit, and now I should have 1 larger loop and 1 smaller loop. So I'm going to take my smaller loop, I'm going to grab it from the side that's closest to the tail, and then I'm going to pull on it from that side, and then this bigger loop is going to close. And then the smaller loop is going to get bigger. And now as you can see, I only have 1 loop left, so now to finish I'm just going to pull on my tail until the other loop closes completely. And now as you can see, there's hardly any hole in the middle at all. So now that I've shown you 3 ways of beginning your work, I'm going to show you how to do a basic single crochet. So I'm going to be using the double magic circle method, but you can use whichever method works best for you. So I'm going to pull up my loop through my 2 circles, my 2 loops for my magic circle, and I'm going to chain 1. So now I'm going to single crochet 5 more times. This is going to count as my first stitch. So I'm going to grab my yarn, I'm going to insert my hook into those circles and grab my yarn and pull up a loop. Now I have 2 loops on my hook, so I'm going to take 1 more loop, I'm going to grab my yarn and pull that loop through both. So I'm going to show you that one more time. I'm going to go into those circles, pull up a loop, and then pull a loop through both. I'm going to do that 3 more times so that I have a total of 6 stitches. Okay, now I have 6 stitches on my circle, so I'm going to close it. And that is going to be my first row of single crochet. So now I'm going to show you how to do an increase. And an increase is pretty easy. It's just 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So as you can see, in each stitch there's the top loops here. And that's where I'm going to work my second row. So I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop so that I can single crochet. and then pull a loop through both. Then I'm going to go back into the same stitch and pull up another loop, and then pull a loop through both to do another single crochet. And now, as you can see, I have 2 stitches coming out of the same spot here. So I'm going to do that in every stitch of the row. There's 1 single crochet, and then I'm going to go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, and single crochet. So now I have 2 stitches in the same space here. And I'm going to do that to every stitch of this row. Okay, after I did my row of increase, I added a couple of rows of single crochet, and now I need to decrease so that my work will get narrower. So I'm going to show you how to decrease next. So in order to decrease, I'm going to pull up 2 loops in the next 2 stitches and then crochet them together. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go into the next set of loops and pull up a loop and leave it on my hook. Then I'm going to go into the next one and do the same thing. Pull up a loop and leave it on my hook. And then I'm going to pull a loop through all 3 of those. I'm going to do that again. Pull up a loop in the next stitch. And pull up a loop in the next. And then crochet through all 3. I'm going to do that one more time. Pull up a loop here. Then in the next one, pull up another loop. Crochet through all 3. And I'm going to continue doing that until I've decreased every stitch of the row. So those are all the basic stitches you'll need to know to make virtually any amigurumi pattern or tutorial. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more crochet videos in the future, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!